Is there something you want to do in your life but aren't? Why not? Do you have a dream but you're not following it? Why not? Is it fear of the unknown? Is it fear of what people might say or think? Fear tends to hold us back from our dreams and what we want to do with our lives. It doesn't have to be that way. So my family and me are doing something really scary, and I want to share it with you. We are selling everything we own to live the life we want to live. So I'm going to show you how to feel the fear and do it anyway, and really push through those barriers that fear can hold, and to really at least even attempt to live the life you want. Even if it doesn't work out, it's worth trying. So if you want to hear about my story, this video I'm going to tell you why we're doing what we're doing and the synchronicities that came about that, how we feel, because we're still in it, how we feel doing it, and how we're going about doing it. Stay to the end, because I'll show you how all this and my story can relate to you and your life, and how you can follow your dreams and live the life you really want despite the fear. So let's get started. Welcome back to Carrie's Crack here on A Spiritual Life. Carrie's Crack is my vlog where I show you that I'm doing this work too. I'm using the mindfulness tools with you. So if you're new here, I'm Carrie. I'm a mindfulness teacher, a home educator, mum of two on a non-religious spiritual path. I teach you, the parent, mindfulness tools to help you with life's challenges, so that then you can teach and mirror to your family and help live consciously and raise connected families. If this sounds like you, you're very welcome here. All right, let's begin with my story of selling everything we own to live the life that we want to live. Where to begin with this? I guess it really came to a head. I've been thinking about this for a long time, but it came to a head in January of this year, 2025, when we went to Lanzarote for the first time in 7 years. I've been abroad, and it was here I had quite a realisation, an epiphany, whatever you want to call it, because 25 years ago, when I worked on cruise ships, I said to myself at 19, I'd never reside in England, which is where I'm from, and it's where I still am. So I said it 25 years ago that I'd never end up living here. And that was because I just loved the weather, being on the cruise ships. I did long haul, I did Caribbean and all these lovely places. So yes, very idyllic. But I loved being in the sun. I still do. And it brings me alive, it brings me so much joy. And here now in the UK, I just can't take it anymore, quite honest. And the realisation that I said that 25 years ago and I'm still here, where in every other area in my life, if I say something, I lead and I go and I do it. So the realisation that 25 years ago I said something and I'm still here was a bit, like, what? Because I know more than anybody, we only have one life. Only one life to live. We've lost 3 out of 4 of our parents, me and my husband. So I know about death and grief and the preciousness of life. So that's what sparked it. Now, we moved into this current house 2.5 years ago. And that was a tale in itself, but keeping this short as I can, basically we got the house, we lost the house, we got the house again. And that's how it happened. So the people that got the house in the middle of us, and then that fell through and it came back on the market for us to get, the guy, his wife didn't even know he did this. The guy, after we got the house, so within 2 weeks of us moving in, he put a letter under our door, so in our through our letterbox saying, you know, we still want the house. If you want to buy it, you know, if you're still selling it, we'll happily buy it. We've still got a buyer. And I was like, no, we've just moved in. We've had an ordeal. You know we have, and we're not gonna sell it right after we've moved in. It was silly. But there was something in me, call it intuition, call it gut, call it whatever it is, but I kept that letter all this time, 2.5 years. So we went on holiday, we had this epiphany. In fact, we were coming to that realisation before we went on holiday mid-January. So early January, right after Christmas, we ended up getting the house valued, because our ultimate goal is to world school. So, and have our businesses. And, you know, we thought, how can we do this? You know, we weren't in a very good position, really. Hubby was working away Monday to Friday. I'm home Edding, our girls, and it got a bit challenging. And I was saying it can't carry on, you know. So before we went on holiday, we got our house valued for both to sell and to rent. And the rental price came back and we were like, there's no way we can live off that. You know, and our businesses aren't up and running, blah, 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 blah. So, and we hadn't got savings, so we can't do that. We can't rent. So we got the price for sale and we're like, okay. So we went on holiday, we had this big epiphany, we came back, and that weekend I came back, I said, right, I'm going to contact these people. So I rang the landline, it went dead. I'm like, they've moved. I was like, well, there's another 2 options here. So I used the mobile, it went to the end, you know, it just went straight to answer phone. And then they had an email address and I thought, what the hell, let's just do it. So I emailed them, I said, you know, you put this letter on, our circumstances have changed, are you still interested? So that was on Sunday tea time. Monday morning, email back, what a lovely surprise to hear from you. Yes, we are still interested. We put our house back on the market and we have a buyer. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I was only sounding this out. I didn't expect this response. I certainly didn't expect this synchronicity. You know, it was a bit like, oh, well, let's just see if it's a possibility and then we'll deal with it. So it kind of happened really quick. And they came round that week, the following weekend, and had a look, and we'd done a lot of work to the house since they'd seen it. So they were over the moon. They thought our price was reasonable and went away to think about it, came back and said, yeah, we'll have it at your price you want. We were like, what? So we were selling the house, but we didn't know what else, and we still don't actually know what we're doing. So I'm filming this now, it's the 18th of June. And this, I think, will go out on the 4th of July. I'm going to start these vlog videos back up again every Friday. I've got teaching videos on the Tuesday. So yeah, it was a bit really scary. Not a bit, really scary, a lot scary. We were selling our house and we were doing this. So, you know, that was back in February. And solicitors being solicitors, we didn't hear anything for like 12 weeks. We didn't even think it was going to be happening. We thought, oh, they're going to pull out, or we're going to have to put it on the market, blah, 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 blah. So in this process, we're selling everything we own. And that's not easy. People think, oh yeah, sell what you own, blah, blah, blah. You get messed about, you sell on Facebook Marketplace, you get messed about, you know what that's like. People don't want to spend the money, but they want the thing. We've been to car boots, we've done all sorts. In the end, most of it's gone to charity. We've gotten over this whole money mindset and grasping for every little penny. It is what it is. We've done the best we can to sell, and the rest has gone to charity, or we've sold for a loss. The big things we've got left to sell are our 2 vehicles and the caravan that hubby used to work away, which is just 2 berths, so it isn't something we can use as a family. So they're the big things to sell, but we're waiting till we actually leave to do that, currently we're sleeping on the floor on a camping bed, and I've got no sleep whatsoever. So the sooner we get a date, the better. We are waiting for a date. We are looking at the 30th of June for a date, but it's not confirmed. So by the time this video goes out, we hopefully will be out of the house. The idea then is to just move into an Airbnb for a month, change all our addresses, do all the things, and then start planning what we're doing. Whether or not we get a camper and we do Europe and all that, but we're looking at the back end of summer now, and one of the main reasons I want to do this is to be in the sun. And some reason, call it intuition, whatever it is, guidance, I'm guided to South America. So if any of you have been to South America and you maybe world school, you watch this and you're world schooling, any hubs that you know of or places to visit, drop them in the comments. Any information, greatly appreciated. And anyone that's doing this, and anyone that's done this and felt the fear and done it anywhere, you know, put your experiences in the comments. Really like to hear that and inspire other people. So that's why we're doing it. How we felt doing this, all the emotions. So like I say, I'm speaking 2 weeks before we're potentially walking out of here, and it's been a roller coaster. Now mindfulness tells you, or invites us, to feel the feels, feel all the feels, no matter what they are. So there'll be days when we've been on the high of the roller coaster and we're like, yeah, we're doing this, it's great, it's going to be exciting, adventure, it's doing it, we're living our lives, blah blah blah, all the good stuff. And then it could be the very next day where we're like, what are we doing? Oh my god, this is just scary. But do you know what? I might even do a whole video on this, because it got so uncomfortable on this side of the fence. Now people say it's not always greener on the other side of the fence, the grass isn't greener, but on this side of the fence it became so uncomfortable for me that to jump over would be better than staying. So I focus on that when I have the wobbles, and I just know that life is for living, and I want to live it my way, as a family unit. Not just have hubby home at the weekends, or, you know, scrimp and save to try and get a weekend away, or, you know, like I said, we hadn't been abroad for 7 years and hardly had many holidays since hubby went self-employed. So it's been really difficult. So we're feeling up and down, and we allow all the feelings, we talk about it, you know, we obviously talk to our kids and they know what's going on, and they're loving the idea of having daddy home all the time, or being with daddy all the time. So that's sort of where we're at with the whole feeling side of it, just allowing it, and, you know, one step at a time. That's another thing I'll say, is like, I'm the kind of person that plans everything. You know, I organise something. It's just in my character. I'm very good at organising, but weirdly, this is the one thing I have not organised and don't want to. I am literally taking my advice, my mindfulness advice on this, and just doing one step at a time. So when we've like drip fed this out to our friends and we've said what we're doing, waiting for the response, it's been, you know, a bit scary to hear what they might say, but we just feel the need to do it, and it's okay. And a lot of the time, you know, they're projecting their fear onto us. In fact, we didn't get a lot of that, actually. We got mostly, you know, well done, I wish we could do it, or so exciting for you, I'm really pleased for you, we're going to miss you, all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's how we felt doing it. And how we're doing this, like I say, just one step at a time. I literally cannot do any more than that. I am waiting to get our date, get rid of the final bits of stuff, get it all in a suitcase each, and that is it. You know, get out the house, do all the removing your addresses, cancelling everything, all the admin stuff, and then breathe, and then let's start planning what we're going to do and how. And, you know, potentially giving us a month here to do that, which is not ideal because Airbnbs in the UK are pricey anyway. Add on peak season, July and August, it's not the best. So hopefully we're not going to be here for very long, and then we can make a decision. Now with Brexit, obviously we've got to factor in the whole Schengen rules. For those of you who don't know that, basically most of Europe is in the Schengen, which means you can only be in there for 3 months at a time in those countries all together collectively. So France, Germany, Spain, you could only be in there within 3 months, and then you have to get out for 6 months, I believe. Montenegro, Albania, those countries aren't in the Schengen, so those are where you could come out to and spend some time and go back in if that's what you wanted to do. But having looked at Albania and Montenegro, they look beautiful and they're quite cheap, so it might be one of the places we first go before going further afield to maybe South America. I did Mexico on the cruise ships, so it might be nice to go back there. Richard hubby's already done Thailand and Vietnam and all that side. I've done Australia, so who knows where we will go with this. But if you want me to do separate videos on this and you want it to be like a vlog just based on that, I might do a separate playlist, so you can let me know in the comments if you'd like separate videos. Otherwise I might just add it into these vlogs as I go along, because you'll see me in different places anyway. But I'll see how I get on, because I am trying to still do 2 videos a week, so we'll see how we go with that. So that's how we're doing this, just one step at a time, and I've never done that before, so that's how it is at the minute. Just can't be that overwhelmed. It's one step at a time. It's a big thing, and yeah, that's how we're doing it. So before I dive into bringing this to you and your life and your family, I'll ask you if any of this resonates with you and you want to learn a bit more about mindfulness. You can like, share and subscribe and click the notification bell and all that jazz to follow me, hear when the videos are uploaded and all that jazz. So how does this relate to you? Because it's all very well hearing someone's story, but at the end of the day, we want to know how it relates to us. So are you living your life your way for you and your family? So have a think about that. Is there something that you would change in your life? I know we're going through a difficult time, and I'm not saying, you know, financially with everything in the world, and I'm not saying that everyone can sell their house and do one. I'm not saying that. But up until this point, we did make some big changes to live the life we wanted. We decided to home educate, and that meant being on one wage. So to do that and to allow for us to do that, we downsized our house. So we went from a 4-bed to a 2-bed. That was a priority. That became a priority, so we had to make sacrifices. You know, a lot of people say that they want to live this life or do something different with their life, but they can't because they've got this house to pay for. But do they really need that house, that specific house? Can you downsize? You know, do we need 4 beds with en suites and garages and all that, or do we just think we do? Because that's what we had. I'm talking from experience here. We went from when we first moved in together, we had a 2-bed house. We were going to extend that house. We decided to move instead because we still wouldn't get what we could get for the money. So we moved house to the 4-bed, 2-bed, straight to a 4-bed, had the garage, had the garden, had the utility, had the ensuite, but it still doesn't bring you joy. If you're not living the life you want to live your way, and that is part of it, it's not going to bring you joy. You know, I even said we knocked a wall out in that house. And I even said, well, even if we spend all our money and we've got a nice home, at least we'll be home and enjoy it. We all know now what it's like to be home and locked in. Do we really want to live life like that? When you look at European houses, you know, I've got a friend who is retired now, but he did surveying, house surveys. And he knows that, you know, people in Europe, they're not like us. You know, we buy a property, we do it up, we make it nice, we make it spick and span, and then sell it on and make a profit. We're all about profit. Over there, he said, they just live in it, because they literally just live in it, and they spend most of their time outside. Obviously in the UK and the bad weather and stuff, we can't always do that because the weather's so bad. But their lifestyle means that they're outside a lot. Kids are outside playing till midnight, you know, that kind of thing, where their lifestyle becomes outside of the house and the house isn't so important. So if we're not spending our time and money on it and don't feel the need to always be in it, then we've got some free money there to spend and maybe use more wisely, more mindfully, and just really live the life you want your way, because you're being mindful where you're putting your attention and your money. So that's one way. But what else can you do? You know, are you seeing your family enough? If your family values are the top thing in your life, which most are you truly living life your way? Are you truly putting family at the top? Are you still at the office, gone 8 o'clock most nights? Are you working overtime? You know, if you cut down on all these things, if you did relocate and downsize or whatever, would you need to work all those hours? So this is not a criticism, but this is just be curious with the life you live and try to make inroads with the life you want to live. Do you have to work every weekend? Can you work every other weekend? What are you going to do with that weekend? Are you just going to run errands and do the thing? Or are you going to actually really do the thing you want? What is that? Do you even know what that is? You know, being mindful opens up these kind of worms, but in a good way. Because until we really know what we want and what our dreams are, we can't go for them. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, because you've tried. And the one thing people regret is the thing that they didn't do in life. I've just watched a video about a guy who helped to bring about AI, and he's 70. And although he wouldn't change it, what he did and what he created and his career and how he loved it and was passionate about it, he said he missed his family and he wished he was at home more. And that is one of the number one, in fact, I don't know if it's the number one regret of the dying, a book by Brené Ware, Australian. And one of the main regrets, if it's not the top, is I wish I'd lived my life true to me, and I wish I'd spent more time with family, is one of the top two. So I'm a big believer in living life for now. All we know is now. We don't know if we'll see our kids grow up, for whichever reason that is. You know, every time you have a kid, somewhat, you know, you're a new parent, people say, oh, they grow up so fast. I remember when mine was this young and now they're in university. You know, how many times did you hear that? It's true. Life does go like that in a blink of an eye if you're not really mindful with it. So what I will say is dreams really can come true. What are your dreams? So if any of that relates to you, let me know in the comments. And a question I'll ask you, and you can drop that in the comments too. If money wasn't an issue, how would you and your family want to live? Not the materialistic side, not a yacht in the Bahamas, the feelings. What would it feel like to live the life you want? You know, celebrities are an example of that. Celebrities have all that the fame, the fortune, the big yachts, the houses here, there and everywhere, but are they happy? How many have, you know, passed away and you find out they actually truly weren't really happy? So if money wasn't an issue, how would you live your life? And can you make some inroads into that? So you can check out this week's teaching video, which will be up here somewhere. And it is on how to live a spiritual life as a parent, and there's a free guide to go with that as well. I'll drop that in the description box here too. There's also my family connection playlist as well that you can watch, and guides to that one as well. All the links in the descriptions below. So I hope my insight into our big scary adventure can help you open your eyes and feel the fear and do it anyway, for you and your life and your family. So if you want to keep watching and keep seeing where our venture takes us, then I'd love to have you on board. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.